Backup running backs, having backup running backs. I mean, Crispy brought it up earlier, having depth on the bench, and you're never going to know which guys, but it's a matter of how many can you roster on your team? How is your roster construction, right? How did you construct your roster? Do you have a bunch of roster clogger wide receivers on your bench, or do you have a bunch of backup running backs, even guys that might not even be the second or third option on the team? You might have a guy on the practice squad
Mm-hmm.
just, hanging like a Chris Rodriguez. It seems like the second guy in Washington. He had one carry less than Brian Robinson last game. Out touched Gibby, and he was a taxi squad guy, a guy that was going like undrafted in your rookie drafts, a guy you could have picked up off of waivers. And now that these guys are getting work, like a Donta Foreman, he was inactive, right? I mean, now all of a sudden he's the guy. And what you can get for these guys, when you can get a third round pick, somebody might be stupid enough to give you a second round pick, but the Jerome
Yep.
Fords, I was able to get
Just
a
about to
second
bring
for in
that
the
up.
league. It was hard to, but depending on the league, you get a second, a third round pick. And then what can we do with these picks after we get them? That's how important it is to have these guys. Number one, you could use them for your team, right? Especially if you're going on zero RB strategy, or if you've got injuries and bye weeks. Now you've got guys that can fill in. We talk about how just injured running backs get all the time. And like, I'm on a rebuilding squad. I've got just a ton of backup running backs. And now every time these guys get a chance to play, I just ship them off for a fourth round
Mm-hmm.
pick, a third round pick, a player. I got a Mooney the other day. So, I just, what you can do with those things and get those picks. And now what does that pick turn into? Maybe that turns into a fucking Puka Nakua, right? Or maybe you're a competing team and you can turn that pick into an Adam Thielen before he kind of went ham, right? So you just have a ton of options when you have some of these backup running backs on your bench, because most of them are going to get weeks to play. It's just a week here, a week there, maybe 2 weeks here. It's just game by game.
When you're going through your rookie drafts, right? Picking up these running backs that are on a team, they're drafted in the third, fourth, fifth round. You want to stash them on your taxi squad. That doesn't cost you a waiver spot, and you'll have those guys, and you can bring them up. You can trade them, and those guys have even more value because they're rookie running backs, right? That come on, make a splash, and so their value is even higher. And they come up and make a splash, or they win the job, or whatever the case may be. So that's definitely another factor to look at, especially when you're doing your startups and your rookie drafts, is taking those running backs in the third or fourth round.